Everyone's got a secret, we're here to spill them. Real people, real confessions every single day. Subscribe Confess Line if you can handle the truth. I just found this out a few hours ago, so forgive me if my writing is uneven. My uncle had a number of mental, emotional problems. Over the years, my grandfather hooked him up with a number of jobs. He had been a union member for over 30 years and had a number of friends in his line of work. My uncle couldn't hold a single one of them for more than 2 weeks. In more than one instance, my grandfather's connection would call him to say, "Don't bother sending your son back." That's how bad it would get. For the most part, he collected unemployment while smoking weed and playing video games in my grandparents' house. He spent a lot of their money on luxuries, a sports car that he had for quite a while, for example. He and I were never tight, and I generally felt uncomfortable around him. Anyway, he has been living with my grandmother for about 6 years. When my grandfather passed away, they had to sell the house quickly and move. In that time, he never sought a job. He would just stay home and do all the aforementioned stuff. A few months ago, my grandmother had a stroke and had to be moved to a round-the-clock nursing home. She can still talk and use the left half of her body, but she is very clearly declining, such is the case with old age. My brother and I have done our best to visit her, but it's a 2-hour drive there and 2-hour drive back, assuming there is no traffic. We both work demanding jobs, and my brother got married last November and is looking to have a child with his wife. Based on what my grandmother said, I don't think my uncle visited her at all. That leads to today, where my brother informed me he took his own life. In the past few months, my brother had told me our uncle was very strongly hinting that he was interested in moving in with him, my brother and his wife. This represented an extreme burden. My uncle wasn't the type of person who would be the perfect house guest and back on their feet in a few months. My brother and his wife want to have a child soon. My mom and I live together, but we're not equipped to provide what he needed. She lost almost all her money divorcing my father and is only now getting back on her feet. I'm on the autism spectrum, and I've been on anxiety-depression medication for about a decade. I was also sexually abused by my dad over the course of many years as a teenager. It has taken me many years of hard work to overcome my past, attain a good standing at my job, and achieve some semblance of financial and personal security. None of us have the financial or emotional capital to help. I suspect that is what made him do it. We have decided that we won't tell our grandmother. She is in the last stage of life, and I fear informing her of this would be catastrophic. She already had a very strained relationship with my father, and my uncle not visiting really pained her. My family has always been a nightmare of substance abuse, physical abuse, and mental illness. I hate lying to my grandmother, but I don't know. Second confession, I'm a F19 and I have a sister who's 2 years younger than me. We grew up with just our mom. I've been feeling a lot of regret lately because I realize I wasn't the kind of loving, respectful big sister she deserved. She was always the calmer, prettier, and smarter one in school, while I struggled more. We've been through some tough times. For some reasons, I was really troubled and ended up taking a lot of my frustration out on her. I was always rude and jealous towards her. Now that we're older and I've matured a bit, I regret it so much. We went out to eat together yesterday, and she had the courage to tell me how much my behavior hurt her growing up, how it really affected her. I just broke down crying. I want more than anything to rebuild something strong with her. But I'm afraid our past strained relationship might make things complicated. I'm sharing this here because I need to get it off my chest and also want to know how I can make things right with her. If anyone has gone through something similar, I'd really appreciate hearing your experiences. Uncomfortable as in I feel like it's wrong for someone else to be younger than me. I'm 17, and I have always been the younger brother and the younger child. Plus, growing up, I have spent more time with older cousins than my younger cousins because they lived closer. Being around my younger cousins, or just other kids, say aged below 10, doesn't sit right with me now that I'm older. It feels very unnatural that I have to be the mature one in the room and act like a big bro, because a few years ago, I was the child with mature adults in the room and I didn't have any expectations or responsibilities. Recently, I became an UNC. It feels so wrong, although I haven't even met my nephew yet. I wish I could just always be the younger guy in the room. Third confession, I'm a 25 men, and I feel guilty about doing this. I'm not an introvert. I can socialize with people easily, but I just really like being at home and alone. I had a very traumatic childhood, and I think it's the main reason I do this, but I haven't further explored it yet because where I live, seeing a therapist is somewhat taboo. It started with my first relationship back when I was in high school. It was an on and off relationship for 8 or so years. We would be together for a few months, I would break up, then go back to her again and on and on. I am regrettably sure I hurt her and I don't know why and how she kept up with me. This happened to me with every relationship that followed. It is also happening to me with most of my current friends. I would be active and hang out with them for a while, then ghost and ignore their calls for a few months, then become active again. Lately, it seems like they don't care anymore, which I definitely understand, but for some reason I really don't care too, and I currently prefer the way things are going, though I don't know how I might feel later in life. A few years back, I heard a friend I had met at work. It was really messy. They are high maintenance, and I think I just felt overwhelmed and decided to ghost. They didn't understand why, and I couldn't explain it even though I really tried. We had an amazing connection, and so I understand why they became really confused and relentless with trying not to lose me. We have since made up and our friendship is currently active, but I'm really scared I end up hurting them again. Because apparently that's all I do. I really don't know why I do this. I don't know if I should just stop making friends or getting into relationships just so I can avoid hurting people. For some reason, I just never feel like I truly care about losing anyone. This is not to say I don't have emotions or feelings, I do. And sometimes I become very passionate or emotional, especially when I get flashbacks from my childhood. Fourth confession: back in early 2014, I moved to Chennai for my studies. I joined a coaching center. The classroom had more than 400 students, literally a sea of faces. But among them, there was one girl who caught my attention. I don't even know why. Maybe it was her presence, maybe just the way she carried herself. At that time, I wasn't doing great. No money, no confidence, filled with self-doubt. I never had the courage to even talk to her. Coaching ended by the end of 2014. After that, I think I only saw her once again in 2016 in passing. Since then, nothing. She disappeared from my life, and yet for some reason, not from my mind. It's not like I can't live without her, or that I'm obsessed, but somewhere deep inside I always have this lingering thought. Where is she now? How is she doing? Is she happy? The strange part is, I only know her name. That's it. No phone number. No social media. Nothing to trace back. I've tried Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and no luck. It's like she's unfindable. I don't want to intrude into her life or make her uncomfortable. I just want to know if she's doing okay. It's been a decade, and I still don't know why my heart keeps pulling me back to this unknown part of my past. Maybe it's unfinished curiosity. Maybe it's regret. Or maybe it's just that she became a symbol of a time in my life when I wanted to be better but wasn't. I don't even know why I'm writing this. I guess I just wanted to let it out somewhere.